cornhole tournament going on. So if you hear any background noise, they're throwing bags and having some fun. Today's show is brought to you by Berry Construction. If you are looking for the impossible to get done, Berry Construction's your man. Located in Moses Lake. Today we have Paul Carney with E-Dubs with us, and I asked him to come on the show because he was once homeless, from homeless to entrepreneur, and we want to pick his brain and see what is going on up there and the process of his life. So, Paul,
how you doing, Rick?
Good.
Thanks for having me, bro.
It's a pleasure. Homelessness. Did you ever think that you would be homeless?
Are you crazy? I never.
Never.
Never in a million years. Great support structure, great family. Never.
That's wild. Here in Moses Lake, we have homelessness happening. Call it a problem, call it life. However you got there, life happens. And tell us your story. You were sharing with me earlier that you were living on a subway roof for a period of time. So,
oh yeah,
get me there. How do we get there?
Okay, so bad relationship. Owned my own company, a trucking company at the time. Copped a DUI. Deserved every ounce of it. Deserved every ounce of it. And compounded by bad relationship and the DUI and legal problems once again. Started messing around. And that's just like no bueno. So up the nose, the trucking company went. More static with girlfriend at the time, and basically lost everything. A couple trips to jail. Then found myself without a place. So me being the guy I am, searched out safe in the city. It's even in the battlefield. It's always from an elevated position. You should know about that.
Oh yeah. We used to when I was in Al Assad, Iraq, we used to drop the snipers off and put them in the towers, and then we would go gun throughout the airfield for all night. And so yes, elevated position is important.
Minus the bag of ice under the chest because they got to sit out in 220 all day.
Well, this is at night. And
okay, so it's only 110, folks. It's not 220 degrees like it would be.
Kuwait is actually hotter than Iraq, I believe. It was like 120. The armor on the trucks were like an oven. You'd lean and you go, arm would burn leaning up against it.
Well, as homelessness, that's how we used to cook eggs.
Yeah, and then in the wintertime, Iraq gets cold. You get little flakes of snow and stuff. You get down to in the 30s, and anyway.
I relocated from Vegas, bro. So don't tell me.
Yeah,
trust me. The desert
gets cold too.
Extremely cold, and
yeah. So anyway, you're on the subway rooftop.
Yeah. So basically, what I did was is at first I realized it was getting winter. It was cold. So if anybody's ever seen the back of a subway, they have a ladder that leads to the roof, but at like 4 feet to maybe 7 feet, they cover it with a shield. So I just would shimmy past the shield. Note to the homeless: they cook bread all night long at Subway. You can get up under there like I did, and that's why I chose Subway, because even in the wintertime, they cook their bread at night and early in the morning, right when it's the coldest. And so it basically kept me warm. After a period of time, the night manager, I think, caught on to it, and I would go up there at night to sleep, and there'd be sandwiches, and it was a unique experience. But literally, when you hear "up its nose it goes," if you're messing around or you see these guys with no teeth, I've been there, man. I've been there, and it's horrible. It's the worst place ever. I broke down one day. I called my aunt, who ran a company called Family Promise, and because she was family, there was only so far that she was willing to help me, number one, and as far as she would help me, period, because of all the shit that had been going on for 20 plus years. So anyway, I stayed a couple nights at a shelter and figured it out wasn't for me. And Subway was the ticket.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
back to Subway. Huh? And FYI, here in Moses Lake, we do have some of the homeless sleeping on rooftops. Um, I know this for a fact from as a contractor, I work on
Come across plenty of nests, don't you?
plays, and I talked to some business owners, and they're like, "Yeah, we got on camera this guy climbing up the wall and going on the rooftop." And yeah, it's a safe place. You know, you're out of sight, out of mind for the night, and then they shimmy up early in the
And
morning
warm.
and warm. You got the little parapet walls to hide in, I guess. And I don't know if the roof is. That can seem like it would get.
The only time it sucked was when it rained. But thank God in Vegas it didn't rain all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me about addiction.
So while I was in the midst of my addiction and living on the roof of the subway, I was actively using, and shit really went sideways. I ended up doing 6 months in jail.
Mm.
So when I came out, I knew I had no place to go because my parents weren't putting up with it anymore. No one was really putting up with it. My aunt and my sister, thank God for them, and a program in Las Vegas through the jail was basically what got me back to moving forward, not on my feet, but moving forward. The program I was in Vegas, leaving the jail, or that I entered in the jail, it was really weird. They had a dorm on the Las Vegas golf course, of all places. Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra, even the mob. The FBI crashed a plane on the actual golf course in the dorm house that we had. Men's Warehouse used to plug us with clothes, and we just walked through the gates every day playing in the park. But we were required to do college courses through a couple of online things. And that's what kind of spurred me on. Like, the idea I've always had about a business, maybe I can make it work. And from there, I mean, shoot, you talk about COVID, George Floyd, a lot of stuff happened once I came out of jail for 6 months. And I was in a great relationship with my wife, and we decided to come here of all places. And so I pretty much applied what I learned in those online college courses, and they were learning certificates. It's really weird. A lot of people go to school to learn about college or spend 4 years in university, but a lot of the companies out there now, they want the now knowledge. So by doing these classes and getting certificates, I was able to kind of give myself an edge. Most of the business classes I took were from the Business School of London, and they were online, and they were totally free. And I learned later that I didn't think it would be this handy. I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. So this is the part I'm most curious about is the underground network. And I know there's got to be one. And a side note, why I believe this is because I have crossed the Mexican border illegally. I have in the construction business to be, where's Jose? Where's Julio? And they go, oh, immigration got them. And 4 or 5 weeks later, they're back, and they would talk about riding in trunks and going to different hubs. They'd be like, oh, we're in San Antonio. And then they would get, and there's a network out there that are like foundational for things to work. So for the carpooling and transport, this underground railroad that happens, at least with immigration. And I have a strong hunch that in the homeless community, there is an organized, like there's a boss and like,
dude, we have mayors. It's not even that. We have mayors, we have trap houses, we have it all. And it's just on a smaller budget. And back in the day, you could use your food stamp card.
yeah,
like literally, it's crazy. As far as Mexico and illegals, I grew up in San Ysidro and Logan Heights in San Diego. And back in the 70s, we used to just hop the fence.
yeah.
But back to the homelessness. So the homelessness, it's weird that we have our own hierarchy. We have our hierarchy. We have our own pecking order, as you call it. We even have our own dealers.
Yeah.
Now, in Vegas, when I was homeless, I was above ground. I spent most of my time, and to your shock, it's mostly mental health issues and vets who are homeless and on the streets. But in Vegas, they have this underground thing,
Yes.
like where dudes live in the tunnels. They got a mayor. They even have dealers that come from the surface and set up shop, literally to sell their drugs.
Yeah.
And that's done with food stamps, state benefits, fraud, and you name it. I mean, they're into it. Think about it's Vegas. How many people throw things in the trash with the last four of their receipt and their name and their address on them? You don't think in Vegas? Maybe not here, Moses. But and I never went underground, but I'm sure they have their own hacking section. Like, yo, I want a fake identity, or yo, can you run me some credit card? Because Vegas is synonymous for fraud since the mob left.
Yeah.
I was lucky to be raised when the mob was there, and it didn't take me till I was like 13 to realize that Big Tony was my mom. I always thought Big Tony was the guy I saw shoved in the car with my uncle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no. But yes, no, homelessness, they have their it's just as well as they have their own resources. Like they all know to go to say Sir Moses Lake. They all know to go to the sleep camp. It's more or less they're no different than people on the surface or people that live normal lives. They have their own network. It's just not via the computer.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's all word of mouth, and they have everything from drugs to prostitution to alcohol. I mean, and even in LA, they got strip clubs that are being done in REI tents on the side of the road in LA. Like it's crazy.
How many homeless people want? This might be a multifaceted question, but how many homeless people really want to get out? And
it depends where rock bottom is, bro. Like rock bottom is the best place to build a foundation when you're a recovering addict or you're homeless. Not everybody's rock bottom is not the same.
Yeah.
Like it's really, really not. I just wasn't prepared to lose my family or myself. And
So
my friends.
bringing it back to Moses Lake, right? Some people feel we have a homeless crisis, a problem or situation. Of the, I don't know how many there are, 370 of them or so. Um, how many do you think would be like you say, when they hit rock bottom, are, what am I trying to say here, willing to
All of them.
to take to get
The
out?
necessary steps to get out. All of them. They just haven't found their bottom yet, bro. They haven't found their bottom. Also, I mean, I was raised Catholic and Christian and more spiritual, but in the book it says we entertain angels in Moses Lake. I'm sorry. We entertain angels. You don't know if that's the devil. You don't know if that's an angel. You don't know if that's a homeless person who's just struggling. So, and it says in the good book, like be wary because at times that's how we're tested. You have the homeless person that hits you up in the middle of the night for some money or they just want to eat. So, I mean, we're all guilty of it. We support our homeless network in this town. But I think a lot of people in this town feel and think the same way I do. I really think we're being tested and we're entertaining angels.
What was like you said you're taking classes, whatever, was that like a pivotal moment for you to?
No, it was mandatory. They're like, oh, look, if we're paying for your rent, we're paying for your food, we're paying for this. You need to fix your flawed thinking and take your ass to class or earn some discipline or learn and move forward.
Yeah. Anyway, how do we fast forward from there to now? Now you're an entrepreneur. How did you get there? You have a clothing line, or you sell?
No, I'm just an authorized dealer for several other clothing lines. Sorry.
Am I hitting you too hard?
It is what it is.
Okay.
But so My my buddy, he killed himself. And left behind two kids, two boys. And, I just thought it would be cool and way to honor him by naming my shop after him and kind of like revel in the shit, the clothes that we used to buy, the lifestyle. Really helped me change my life. When I came out of that program, um, all my friends had written me off, and he was the only dude who was like, "Yo, fuck it, I'll give you a chance." He's like, "I'm gonna give you one last one, but I got you." And so when he passed away, I figured I'd just, do something to honor his name. And I just kind of ran with it. And got a life of its own. Um, so I just embodied the life, style because Chicanoism is a lifestyle. It's not fucking ethnicity, people. It's a way of life. It's how you get up, you brush your teeth, you put your pants on. CS, it stands for Consafos, but in my mind, it means you can't stop me. It's finally starting to take off. Things are great. Um, New ad marketing campaign got you to thank for the new gate and the new sign and Berry Construction. Like he said, if there's any job that seems impossible, Berry Construction makes it possible. And that's not a plug. That's just local support and local. But
Appreciate that.
yeah, no, it is what it is, man. The shit that doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. So many people like buckle under other people's opinions and what other people say, and this might ruffle some feathers, but fuck them.
Yeah. So, jumping to the next topic, what do you do for your mental health?
Mental health. So, um, being growing up in Vegas and always being around the sun, like I love the sun. I love 115-degree day because that means when I'm walking on the blacktop, it's 125, and most people faint at 105. So, I mean, I really I miss the weather. Um, but I do sunning, I do grounding, do 24-hour fasting, cold showers. I've been doing that since September. The gym, free your mind, your ass will follow. Super simple. Uh, and I'm down from 258 to 250 or to 217. I'm sorry. I've lost like 50 pounds. This shit is crazy. Um, and mostly I do even do the 24-hour fasting. Like it's weird. However, though, my newest revelation would be that anybody who's thinking about opening a rehab center for meth heads or coke addicts, I'm gonna tell you, there's gotta definitely be a cold shower therapy center because I get such a rush from a cold shower and it lasts all day long. The dopamine rush is incredible.
Mm.
But no, it's just diet, exercise, and I'm 53. Like I'm just not trying to be some tired ass mother, like some tired ass 70-year-old.
Yeah.
Like I still want to be in a lowrider wheelchair or something with cool wheels at least.
That's cool wheels. Very nice. Since I met you, you're always doing something with the community involved. In fact, uh, Paul was the one that brought the Thanksgiving thing to Rick's. He was like, "Hey, the Elks Lodge just closed down. No one's feeding these people." And from there, it's just like it's it's grown. They were serving 200 people, not on Thanksgiving. We jumped to 400. This year was 500 people. You really chase after the guys giving free haircuts and pound the street. You're not afraid to open your mouth and really pound the street pretty hard. And then the Umani Festival. Tell us about that. That's like a cultural event type thing you guys do. What is that?
So when I moved here and being from San Diego, growing up in Logan and San Ysidro, I was always immersed in my culture. Even in Las Vegas, like just immersed in my culture, even though I had to deal with Big Tony. I was still immersed in my culture. And I came here and I went to speak to somebody and I was like, how do I go about doing this? How do I go about doing this? And the response I got was like, you guys just got a new taco truck and a Mexican restaurant. And I lost my shit. I'm like, you guys, I'm like, you realize you're talking to a Chicano? I'm like, we have a problem here right now. What's your boss's name? And from there, I did my Lowriders and Lucha, my grand opening.
Mm-hmm.
Then people from Umani, they reached out to me. So now, of course, I'm a founding member of the Umani Festival. We're going on our third year. This year, we're bringing Lucha Libre back. That was the same Lucha Libre that we used for my grand opening, all the way from Tijuana and San Diego, Rey Mysterio's people. It's going to be a blast. They're going to be wrestling and doing a workshop, letting the kids make their own lucha masks. I mean, dude, it's going to be lit. It's going to be lit. And the beer garden is attached to the lucha ring. So it's going to be amazing. But when I came here, they just didn't do anything for us. It was crazy. So I thought I would put my foot in the door, and along with Colombian Basin Allied Arts, the Library District, and Arts and Co., because we're basically the 4 founding members, we just went ahead and ran with it. It just was hard for me because I'm used to seeing parades. And shoot, they didn't even pipe in a fight for Cinco de Mayo and give us dollar modelos. I mean, it ain't really our Independence Day, even though most people think it is, but we still like a beer and a good fight.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot. So I just took it upon myself to like push for certain things, and our former city manager was kind enough to oblige me. And when she would tell me no, she would at least tell me how to get a yes. So anybody out there looking to try something or do something, man, give a city government. If you can't tell you yes, they're just like your situation with the sprinklers. Oh my Lord, are you kidding me? I try to compare you to a Great White concert that happened in New Jersey 36 years ago, where the emergency doors were changed. I mean, come on, dude. It is what it is. Yeah. But you know the struggle.
Oh yeah. Well, what is your biggest fear?
Dude, are you serious?
It's me, isn't it?
No, I'm losing my wife. Having to go another day without my wife. Because I already know God's going to deal with me just like a normal father would. Justin Swift. It's just going to be over that quick.
Yeah. If everyone could like and subscribe and share, that would be really helpful for the algorithms. My favorite part is getting on my knees and begging. So I'm off my knees now. What is your favorite restaurant in Moses Lake?
Oh, are you serious? Oh my gosh, what's the name of it, babe? Paradise. Oh, Paradise. Yeah, the chicken, the tikka masala. Yeah. The coconut shrimp. And times 2, and I will take and it's weird that I say this, but I'll take the double vodka and cranberry, and everybody's like, "What? You're a recovering addict?" Da, 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 da. You never had a problem with alcohol. It goes down just fine, and I don't act like it.
Very nice. That's Paradise got a shout out.
And everything's fresh. Like they literally make it by the quarter, fresh, and you can tell the difference. Second best, the Smugglins. They're the beef brisket, and they're the coleslaw with the raisins in it. It's the only 2 items I want from there. I go in there, I order like 4 pounds of and it's like $100 always. I don't care. Just sit at home and smother myself. As far as tacos, even though I have a lot of homies here that make tacos, I gotta shout out Tacos Colima. I gotta shout them out. And then flautas, gotta go check the one at the end of the block by the green seed, by the lady that sells shitty weed. You gotta go down there, dude, and eat at the taco truck at her spot.
Yeah, is that that Pollo Loco, whatever?
El Pollo Flaco.
El Pollo Flaco. Oh, best flautas in town.
Oh yeah, I'll have to try that.
No mames.
No, I appreciate that. And the reason for this is to
absolutely
show support to some of these local businesses out there.
Oh, I also got my watch fixed, and no, because they did it today for free. Like I got it as a gift. Nellie bought me a watch. My wife bought me a watch, and I was surprised. I took the watch in, and I was like, "Look, I didn't buy this here. How much would it be?" And they actually just handled it all. and didn't charge me a dime. And that was shocking. I'm actually looking it up right now on my phone.
All right.
But the guy Nico took care of me. Hang on. I feel bad.
Uh,
There we go.
would you
Miller's Fine Jewelry,
Miller's Fine Jewelry?
right by the Sinisky Square Club.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I just couldn't believe it. The service I got there. I mean, I would compare it to the corporate store they use. So definitely check them out.
So you
Tell Nico I sent you.
are you still doing things with Live Nation?
Yes. So I work for a company called DLS. I do concerts all over the United States. And my wife and I both do them. So our most recent show was the Chainsmokers in Aspen, Colorado. Prior to that, we did like Willie Nelson's farewell tour. Now I'm just in the concert scene, mostly to take a working vacation when I need a break from like life and Moses Lake. Let me just go be a beverage coordinator like I do on home beer all day long.
Yeah.
But it's a great life. It really is. I've traveled the world. I've seen so many places. Shout out to Eleanor Gorin and Raquel Saras, Tyler, Jamie Lax. Those are my staffers. Young people have, and much love to David. David Solomon, that's the dude. They have all taken very good care of me. And it's just, that's honestly, it's my working vacation to go enjoy life.
Isn't that funny how you like just to do a totally different type of work is like a mental break or somewhat of a vacation. People ask me like, Rick, how do you do it? Like you're running a construction business, you have this restaurant lounge, like how do you do it? And I think what helps a lot is they're totally different animals.
Oh, totally. Like the
Totally
beast.
different. So like coming here and bar back in or whatever I got to do is totally different than swinging a hammer, measuring a tape, and rolling my eyes. And
and for sure, calling out the beverage coordinator. Yes, beverage coordinator is bar backing, just in case any of y'all don't know.
Yeah. I spend most of my time telling people that I am the assistant manager and, any new
in the BOH, and people are like,
any new rules coming in. I'm like, hey, this is coming down from up top. I'm just the assistant manager. This is, I don't have control of this.
You have no idea what it's like to be able to refer to Terry and my wife. That's like, look, I'm lower management.
Yeah.
You have to deal with these ladies. It's my favorite part.
Yeah. I'm like, and even though it's humorous, it does allow my staff to like step up, run things the way they want to, and they do a pretty good job. Like I don't have to say much or get involved much. They're handling it because they've been empowered.
Like they say, it's really hard to recruit a doer. I honestly say you got a good staff of doers and you don't micromanage them. I honestly think that's a problem with America today. Like as far as business, people micromanage the crap out of their people. Like, dude, why do you have a manager and assistant manager to tell a new employee that he's doing something wrong? Like that's two salaries I could just cut right out of the game and save myself like $80,000.
Yeah.
No, you don't micromanage your people, and you value other people's opinion. That being said, as long as they're willing to remove themselves and look at other people's perspective, I'd take any advice you give me. You're a Sarge, former Sarge, still a Sarge. You've led men. If anybody could mentor anybody, it'd be a man who has led men, not bossed a man.
Well, thank you. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, dude, I don't sing in public, but if I did,
that's the second time someone's like, I don't sing.
No, I actually, dude, believe it or not, I actually got Shamira Jackson actually got missing karaoke on the side of the frickin' strip by one of them. They drive me nuts, the street vendors. But I want to say it was Jump Around by House of Pain, and I was like, that's the only reason she got me in on it. Like, seriously? Because all I had to do was just jump up and down and go, jump. Jump.
All right. jumping back to homelessness, one last question.
You can ask me 100
If
about
you, what advice do you have to give, I guess, our community to help these people? Uh,
get back on their feet and reacclimated into the working class or the societal class and get them.
you have like a division of thought. You have some people saying, right, like you say, they got to hit rock bottom, make that choice, and
But that's everybody in life. That
they
ain't just
step
the
up.
homeless.
They see them as freeloaders or the trash they make. I mean, I battle them with my
Cigarette? You
action,
too? You too?
my
That villain has visited my spot twice.
the cigarette butt pirates.
Oh my God.
They,
Yeah.
they've they,
R-E-A-T.
they've destroyed like my tower and anyway. And
That's
now it's filling with trash, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like anyway. It's like so you have some people that are like they just need to pony up and want it, and they'll make the change, and then you have others that like they all need a place to stay. They're human. Let's support them. It's like, what's the balance? What do you recommend to be most effective?
so for balance and most effective. And as much as it kicks me in the butt to say this, it's because sometimes when we entertain angels, we are actually entertaining their demons. That makes any sense? Like we entertain them, give them money, and then they're not angels, and they go use the money for drugs. We kind of perpetuate this on ourselves. Not as horrible as it sounds. I say, be better with your judgment, not with your handout. Because there's a difference between a homeless person who has dirty nails and dirty shoes and someone who has clean nails and clean shoes. Everyone has to make their own decision. We need to entertain the angels less or be able to identify them, number one. Number two, we need more programs because not every homeless person is. I'm not trying to take anything away from them because homeless people are super smart. I mean, they survive with no money, no income. I don't want people to think that homeless people are unintelligent. They're probably some of the most intelligent people you will see on the planet because they've learned how to thwart the system. I would say we need more acclimation programs for them. I know that sounds crazy, but so you got Job Source or what? I don't know what it's called. I'm sorry. I haven't had to go.
Skill source.
Skill Source. There you go. I don't want to bash their name. Um, there needs to be something where people can go get these certificates. They've got to be given another place to use computers besides the internet. Because I've never seen a homeless person in Skill Source filling out an application. I just haven't. And I've been in there a couple times, and they're great people, and I love what they do. Well, yet I've never seen that taking place in there as opposed to the library. Um, I think there needs to be like these companies like SGL Carbon Fiber. We got Google out here. We have Boeing. I mean, dude, some of these people could okay, I understand there's mental health issues, but some of these people could be mopping floors.
Yeah.
Some of these people could be in custodial engineers. Some of these people could just be picking up weeds by the fence line. You've got several companies in town, I think, that use uh, mentally challenged individuals who do like the paper shredding. There just has to be more avenues. We have so much money up here, and that's what I try to tell people that are still living on the West Coast in Las Vegas. I mean, seriously, the median wage out here is $35 if you have any kind of shop class coming out of high school. It's called prevailing wage, people. Don't be scared to ask for it. They offer you 17, you'd be like, no, I got 2 years of shop class and a year auto mechanics. I'm gonna need that 35. So once again, there's some of the things they teach you. Jail and prisons. Just because you're in a bad way does not give them the right to undercommand you for your pay.
Yeah. So, man, several months ago, my guys were doing a roofing job, and it was like 3-layer tear off, and they were just like grinding it, tired, whatever. And I go, man, I need an extra man. So I ran down to the library and I was looking for a specific person that I had talked to in the past, but he wasn't there. And I saw the huddle and all those people were there. And I walk up and they're like, don't talk to him, he's a cop.
Like, no, just a sergeant.
Yeah, yeah. Put your hands behind your back, right? And I said, I'm not a cop. I'm a contractor, and I need someone.
But it started with C,
Yeah,
and the second letter was an O.
yeah, yeah. And I was like, I need someone to work. It's just grunt labor, picking up stuff off the ground while we're spilling all the stuff. Like I just need someone. I need some extra muscle. My guys are tired. Several days of tearing off this 3-layer roof. Um, anyway, some of them want to work. There was like one guy's like, I'll do it. And the group, the huddle was like, not him. He has some mental health issues. And they're like, and there's a dude with a hoodie on sitting against the wall, not even paying attention. They're like, that guy will do it. And they nudged him and he's like, they were like, hey, you want to work? And he's like, yeah, I'll work. And
because what they're doing is they're going to rob that guy when he comes back because the guy is mentally challenged. They're actually manipulating him to go do the work. The one guy that said, I'll do the work right away, that's the dude you should have hired and put back to work because he'd have come back and gave somebody a knuckle sandwich who tried to take $1 or a cigarette.
Well, they probably pillaged his stuff when he went to work. So you might be right on that. But I mean, it was like, hey, this guy, he worked 3-4 hours. He wasn't used to working. He's like, man, I haven't worked in like, 3 years. And the guys on the roof, they're like, hey, they went to high school with him. They're like, still on the job. I haven't seen you in a long time.
That spark in his eyes, though, the spark of recognition. Like I'm telling you, that you never know when, but it's the one thing.
Yeah. So I paid him cash, and I was like, hey, he did an honest few hours of work, and
Didn't slough, wasn't leaning on a tree when it was time to be cleaning.
he did what he could. And after about 3 hours, he goes, he was like, I'm tapped. I'm not this because it's grunt work or asking to do. He's like, I'm tapped, whatever. I paid him for his time, dropped him off, But it's like
Most likely he was dope sick. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
You invited me here to ask me these hard questions. I'm just going to tell you what's cracking.
Yeah, and he earned his honest pay, and he probably went out and bought whatever with it.
We call it get right on the street.
Get right.
Yeah. It's called the case of get right.
Yeah.
Because when you're hurting, when you're using in that addiction, you're like, I'm in a bad way.
So many of the programs out there require them to be clean. Do you agree with that?
100%. 100%. But like I said, that leads to the bottom once again. But so the program I was in when I got out of jail, they paid for my rent. I had to go get food stamps and get on Medicaid. I had to pay for my own medical. I had to use my food stamps to contribute to the household. And it was kind of cool because everybody went and everybody's like, I'm using $100 on my card. And we used to eat like kings. Like seriously, like we were like, oh my gosh. But the one requirement was you could get a spot check at any time.
Yeah.
And when we moved to a different, because every time was a level up. Like when we first entered the program, we were in the crappiest spot of downtown Las Vegas, just off the Fremont Street on like 3rd Street and like hell. And it's like they drop you in those places because I think it's kind of a test, or that's how we used it for. Because eventually I ended up being like a house monitor and an administrator. But how it works is, and then if you can maintain being drug free for the 6 weeks, well, then they moved you to the Las Vegas golf course in a co-ed dorm living. There was 5 bedrooms upstairs. We're living in a mansion. You go downstairs and go to school instead of like a dining room table that seated like 40 people. Literally it was 20 desks with computers. Like, yo, dude, you're done. Guess what? School starts at the Business School of London at 2 a.m. today. Get your ass online. Get your certificate. And then from there, that's what led me back to bartending and, back to Live Nation and DLS. And I mean, shoot, BBC, Spectrum. I mean, if NX some of the major entertainment companies pick up the phone and call me and my wife when it's time. When I'm like, hey, man, let me pick up a show. I need to get out of here for a minute. I need to stretch my legs. And you go from a dude who was using and would literally start everything you had, meth wise, and like lose my life to now they're like, yeah, we need you to be in charge of 20 freaking people, and we need to make sure that you keep your eyes lit, you watch for theft, you watch for this, you watch for that. And I mean, it's to the point where those companies rely on me to get on my radio and be like, yo, I need loss prevention to take a run at my tent. I don't know three of these people. A lot of responsibility and a lot of things were given to me by bosses, and I just decided to shine and grind instead of just go back to the way I was living. I'm not going that way. I try to tell people, you got to rearview mirror, rip that shit off because you're not going that way.
Well, this is Paul Carney with eDubs. Thanks for sharing your life story with us. Hopefully, we all could learn a little something from this because, I think it relates to many aspects of life, either in your community or in business. But Paul's out there grinding it every day.
Yeah, you will not outwork me. Try me, but you will not ever outwork me. Not ever. Keep trying.
Keep up, Paul. Anyway, you're located off Broadway. How do we find you?
1102 West Broadway, Monday through Friday from 10 to 5 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, we're closed in Moses Lake till November the 1st, but you can find us out at the Tri-Cities Flea Market. That is the Pasco Flea Market, spaces 612 and 509. That's right, 509. They gave it to me. And stay tuned because we got a third location we're looking at in Seattle. And yeah, this website, everything's coming out, man. It's like I say, support those local creators. Use it for fuel because they'll get you there.
All right. This is the Ricksican Show, and we're signing out. Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, bro. I really appreciate this.
Yeah, this was great. We may have Paul back again for a tinfoil.
Oh, I'm telling you,
conspiracy and
tinfoil sombrero.
Stay tuned. This is Rick, your host, signing out. And there might be a 5-second delay.
I got a fart. Oh, you guys are muted. I could care less. You can totally put
my saw.
You should smell my chair.
Yeah. Try not to wipe my nose.